Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's your boy. It's me, Super Nerd Pharaoh. Anyways, I wanted to talk about something that was bothering me in Pokemon Legends ZA. For the longest time, it's kind of been getting on my nerves because it seems like they pick and choose when to implement their limitations. But y'all know Pokemon Legends ZA is notorious for being the second Legends game that doesn't have abilities, but this game very much has abilities. The problem with having abilities or like not having abilities in Legends ZA is that a lot of Mega Pokemon are predicated on having their abilities. Some of them might as well not exist, which we'll get into. But I wanted to show you something that I found pretty pertinent on my end. Let me just put myself in the corner here and get to the point. As you can see, my Mimikyu is level 131. It's actually level 26, but whatever. I'm trying to let it take a hit versus this Mega Absol Road Mega Evolution event. Because it should die in one hit from anything, right? So that was a super effective Shadow Sneak. So yeah, it didn't die actually. It just went into its ability mode. With that out the way, we're going to talk about Pokemon with abilities in Pokemon Legends ZA. I feel like I have to because I've been waiting for someone to get into it. Like, I wanted to get into it. If they have, then put the video in my comments. Y'all might know about Aegislash having its ability. It goes into defense mode when it uses status moves. It goes to attack mode when it uses attack moves. Everyone agrees that Aegislash is absolutely terrible in this game. It is ruined. Aegislash should be a good Pokemon, however, and by virtue of its typing alone, obviously Steel Ghost is goated. It's one of the strongest type combinations possible, really only having two prevalent weaknesses, and the ability, which would normally allow it to completely render most Pokemon attacks non-existent with its King Shield. The transition is so slow that no one wants to use it when it attacks their defense. It's a broken ability, like, implementation. You're going to notice a common thing amongst these abilities, but not always the same thing. But needless to say, Aegislash got the short end of the stick when it came to ability rendition in Pokemon ZA. For Pokemon who managed to get abilities, it was disserviced very greatly. Next, we're going to talk about Zygarde. That's the most obvious one, right? Power Construct. Power Construct as an ability was implemented actually kind of well in this game. It gets low and then it gets super strong. It's really cool that Zygarde can Mega Evolve in this game. We do value Mega Evolutions of Pokemon that have high HP stats so you can enjoy that Mega Evolution. Obviously, Zygarde has one of the coolest things going on for it when it has Power Construct, and even like later in Pokemon Champions, which we'll talk about later in the channel, not in the video, that Power Construct with how many clerical abilities are in doubles formats are going to break the game. But Legends ZA Zygarde gets its ability and it's pretty cool and we love it, and the whole condition for letting it level evolve after it's gotten to max form, we like that. And it's Nile Light, that's super cool that Zygarde's able to do the things it's able to do by getting access to its ability. It would be plenty strong without it, honestly. Like, if you could just send out the snake or the dog and not have it be the Super Gundam thing, it'd be super cool. But they did that with intention because they knew that some Pokemon would need their abilities in this game, and you can't get 100% Zygarde without having Power Construct, right? Moving on to the DLC, Morpeko, it's predicated on its ability, so that would make sense that it gets its ability, right? In the DLC, you're kind of paying for these Pokemon to have their presence in the game, so of course they would introduce Pokemon with their abilities. Does that make Legends ZA pay to win as an experience? I do not know, but it's pretty cool that Morpeko actually got, did I pronounce it in two different ways? Jesus. Morpeko got access to its ability because we love both of the forms. They're very cuddly and it would be incomplete, right? We don't like incomplete representation, or at least we shouldn't, even though most of these Pokemon are incomplete without their abilities. Mimikyu, as I just demonstrated, gets its ability, and it's arguably, besides Power Construct, I would say Mimikyu's ability in Pokemon Legends ZA is the strongest of any ability. again, aside from power construct, you get to tank a hit for free once, and then Mimikyu gets free setup. That's absolutely bonkers considering a Mimikyu's profile for versatility. It can be slow, it can be fast, it can be support, it can be offense. It can do what it wants, and it gets a free turn to do so. It's probably going to go super wild when people discover how to use it properly in a mega or like a arena fighter environment. It's still overpowered though. And then these Pokemon here, Mawile, Starmie, Medicham, they don't really get their abilities so much as they just get a raw plus 40 attack boost to their base stats when they mega evolve, implying that they all have huge power. I mean, Mega Starmie especially, but they still get some sort of reference to their, they get thrown a bone, which is plenty good because Mega Mawile would actually be super bad without its ability. And the other two, Mega Starmie kind of turns into a physical attacker with that plus 40 boost, which means the stat spreads for Mawile and Medicham don't need to be different, but you can immediately tell if a Starmie is going to be a Mega Starmie if it starts using physical moves instead of special, because that would be a bad investment of its stats, right? And then Mega Raichu X gets an ability like mode where when it uses Volt Tackle to shred its tiny HP in exchange for a massive hit, it gets an attack boost afterwards. And I super duper like that. Mega Raichu X is probably going to have a decent ability. Hopefully that doesn't mean when it does recoil damage, it gets an attack boost. Maybe it has something specifically to do with Volt Tackle. But if you've ever used Mega Raichu X like I have, I love the Superman thing it's got going on. You'll understand that it getting its ability in that, it getting an ability in that way implies something greater about the character than just, it's going to be like a physical Pikachu. Dondozo and Tatsugiri also get, their ability combo is what I should say. It's odd that Tatsugiri itself gets a Mega Evolution, which makes it even more versatile. Dondozo, however, I have no idea why Dondozo gets it. It doesn't have to, but they decide, again, these are DLC Pokemon, so there's a through line that I was not considering before I pressed the record button. Tatsugiri can not be in its ability mode when it's in Mega Evolved, but you can do Order Up and all the stat boosting stuff using Dondozo and Legend ZA, which is super cool, I guess. I mean, good for them. Not my favorite representation. I didn't like playing against Tatsugiri or Dondozo in any other game. I rather find that combo annoying, but here we are. And here's where we get to Pokemon who are defined by their abilities and straight up didn't get them. What happened with Mega Kangaskhan? I will admit I haven't even touched Kangaskhan once because when I heard this game didn't have abilities, and indeed in testing Mega Kangaskhan didn't get its ability, I wondered what was even going on or why even bother playing Kangaskhan with its ability or without its ability, because there's no other point besides the fact that it's a little beefier. The baby attacking, giving 25% or an extra hit is what I should say, because it's not just a 25% chance, it's a 25% extra power. It's actually the ability to proc moves secondarily, to double up on stat boosts or status procs, right? That's what you're really going for now. I mean, the power's almost been taken away from it. Mega Kangaskhan does not get its ability. Why does it not get its ability? I have no idea what's going on there. That's disservice. That's favoritism, and Kangaskhan's not part of the DLC, obviously. So you can imagine a couple of reasons why it might not have, even though that's unjust. Sableye, of course, might as well not exist. Look at Sableye's base stats, dude. It's 480. Sableye's base stats are 480 with its Mega. This Pokemon might as well not have gotten a Mega in Legend ZA. It's incredibly frail. Yes, it has high defenses, but that HP stat and speed stat render it one of the worst. Its moves are going to take forever to come out, and it's going to be easy to kill despite its Mega stats. Why? Because it doesn't get Magic Bounce. The whole reason it was even good was because Sableye used to be kind of hard to hit, not anymore with the Fairy type, as prevalent and as favorite as Fairy type is by Game Freak. It used to be kind of hard to hit, and it used to be super annoying because out in the field, you wouldn't be able to do anything except for attack it directly, which it used to. But in Legend ZA, you can power through just about anything. Sableye definitely got the short end of the stick when it came to not getting its ability. Again, not a DLC Pokemon, classic Mega Evolution. No idea why they decided to render things the way they did. And someone who absolutely won out based on not getting abilities. Golisopod not having emergency exit makes it honestly a top tier Pokemon, period. I was running my competitive core for PvP. Actually, Scizor is my favorite Pokemon. Golisopod's second place, tied with Goldingo, but which cool because they're all in the game. But because Scizor is times 4 weak to fire, I have a Tyrantrum to balance that out in case anyone sends out a fire Pokemon or starts using fire attacks when my Scizor is out. And then Golisopod balances out the Tyrantrum by having a different they're all physical, but it worked. Like I got straight to rank Q in 2 games, which is nuts. 7 kills each. It's because Golisopod doesn't have emergency exit, which saves it. I don't really like Mega Golisopod's typing. Bug Steel was not entirely necessary. Bug Water was already fine, and it also loses stab on Aqua Jet. But regardless, Golisopod kind of won out when it came to not getting its ability. But again, Golisopod's a DLC character. They could have easily given it its ability emergency exit. So here's the deal. Why didn't they, let me put myself back in the middle here. They seem to have arbitrarily picked and chosen which Pokemon get their abilities in this game.
Stop right there. Obviously, it's a live performance, so I might have messed up. Their form changes, rather their passive form changes, with the exceptions of the huge power abilities and Dondozo's Tatsugiri thing, which is odd because that's a doubles ability. Which the differences between the gameplay and the Legends EA leaves it like, how is it going to operate in Champions? Are you going to be able to operate solo Donzozo in Champions or not? My guess is no, but the implementation of the abilities in Legends EA leave larger implications for later updates, which I might go into in a later video, so stay tuned for that.
It kind of bothers me. I just wanted to bring it up. What's a Pokemon that showed up in Legends EA that you think should have got its ability? Or there's plenty, right? Like Pokemon with guts, Pokemon maybe without weather. We could have seen a Nerve make a return with how items still work in this game. If you're playing in the PvP mode and you normally think you can get a Pokemon mostly down, most people don't attack a Pokemon unless they can think they can kill it in one hit because they don't want it to be stolen. But a good way to preserve yourself is using berries, and Pokemon without berries could have a giant aura or something. There's also all sorts of numbers checks for these abilities. They can do the same thing for items. For if they're low on health, if you got your starter and its ability was Overgrow or Torrent or Blaze, and your Pokemon was low health, and you could increase the power of its fire attacks, that's entirely possible within the coding of the game. I can only assume, but they decide not to do that, and I have no idea why. I'm just saying, if they can make items work the way they can make abilities work the way they can in the DLC, then not having abilities in this game was definitely a choice for the most part. I hate to say it, it seems kind of lazy or motivated elsewhere, and I don't like to insinuate any sort of malice from the devs when it comes to, I made a TikTok earlier today about how everything in the post game for the DLC is RNG based, and I hate that because I'm trying to catch like a Porygon and a Farfetch'd, but that's neither here nor there. I guess I'm done here. That's the end of the video.
Who the fuck are you?
I'm Super Nerd Pharaoh. Probably down, you can look at where all of my contacts and social media are. Like the video if you liked it, and drop a comment if you have any thoughts about abilities in Pokemon Legends EA. I'm going to go back to playing the grindy game because I'm really trying to get this Surfetch dog. I can't. Alright, video's over. I'm out.